Welcome to the You Two Scare Me podcast. We're your hosts. I'm Felice.
And I'm Andy, and we are coming to you from Key West, Florida. So, I have to tell you something.
What?
Okay, this is a little tiny spooky story from this house that we are currently recording in.
Oh no.
Okay, so my husband, Ryan,
Yes.
he's gradually becoming more of a believer, I think, after all of these things I drag him to.
Yeah.
But still very much a skeptic. He comes up to bed the other night, and it's already, a miracle that I'm in bed before him because that's just not how I live. But anyway, he comes up to bed and he's like, "What are you doing up here?" And I was like, "I've been up here." And he's like, "Did you just come downstairs for something?" And I was like, "No, I did not. Why? What's going on?" And he said he was doing something in the kitchen.
Okay.
And he heard somebody talking behind him, and he turned around and nobody was there. So then he thought it was one of the kids. So he checked the stairs,
Yeah.
went and checked the rooms. They were sleeping. He was like, there was definitely somebody there. And I was like, what?
What did you do?
No. I was just like, oh, I'm sure it's fine. But he was like legitimately creeped out.
Like a little bit spooked. Ooh,
He was.
uh-oh.
So, and that was right over in that area.
Well.
So if you see anything.
Oh yeah.
Oh
Let
my
us
gosh.
know. Yeah. So we're videoing for the first time. Wow. So I don't know what we'll do with this video, but maybe you'll see it somewhere. We're still learning. Oh my gosh.
So speaking of spooky, it was just the anniversary of the premiere of Tales from the Crypt.
Ooh, the Crypt Keeper.
Yes, that's literally the only thing that I remember is the Crypt Keeper and that crazy laugh, like
Yeah.
But I just thought it was really apropos that we take a moment to pause and recognize June 9th as the anniversary of the premiere of that spooky show.
How many years old? When was that out?
Well, 1989.
Oh.
I was a tiny, tiny child.
Yes.
And you were probably toting a gun around in the army.
No, I was not. In 1989. No, I was also a tiny child. I think I was in 5th grade. 5th grade. 1989 was actually a great year for music, pop culture, and Tales from the Crypt, evidently. Oh my gosh.
So, in case you're just joining us on the You Two Scare Me Fun, we are two silly, sassy ladies who love to get a little spooked while listening to stories about ghosts and the unexplained.
But don't worry, we deeply respect the unknown forces around us and understand we don't truly know what's going on. And that is so honest in so many ways. We're just out here, LIVIN.
We definitely like to have a good time, though, so you can expect lots of laughter during our adventures.
The stories are true.
I mean, we think they are.
We think so. We dive into a range of scary and mysterious topics like spirits, hauntings, ghosts, and maybe one day we'll even talk about an alien or two.
No, thank you. In the You Two Scare Me podcast, we secretly research stories to tell each other, and we don't spoil the surprise until we hit record.
Dive into the shadows with us as we bring you haunting tales in this episode of the You Two Scare Me podcast.
Shall we dive in? Let's dive into the tale of Fort Zachary Taylor, or if you're local, just Fort Zach.
Fort Zach.
So let's start with the history, because haunted places always have history. So Fort Zachary Taylor, the official name, sits on over 54 acres of land in Key West.
That is a lot of land.
Yeah.
That's actually really shocking. The whole island is only 2 miles by 4 miles.
Right. I thought it was gigantic. I didn't realize that it was that much land. So today, it's a state park with beaches, nature trails, beach huts, a cafe, and it's a great place to host weddings and events.
Yeah.
But the big thing at the park is the fort itself. Construction on Fort Zach began in 1845, the same year that Florida officially became a state.
Oh.
It took 21 years to complete the building of the fort, and it was finally finished in 1866. The fort had, no, I thought this was so interesting, state-of-the-art facilities for the time. They had toilets that flushed with the tide.
Wow.
A desalination plant for fresh water. So they took the ocean water and turned it into fresh, which I thought was so cool.
Wow.
And they had 140 guns ready to defend the shores. But this fort was built on the backs of enslaved people. Many were leased by the U.S. Army Corps of Engineers. They say that when building the fort, the population of enslaved people in Key West went from less than 100 to over 400.
Wow.
And the building process was brutal. It was slowed down by hurricanes, by disease, by the heat, and of course, yellow fever in particular affected the workers. So, just like Fort Jefferson, which we explored in an earlier episode, Fort Zach was crucial to controlling and deterring supply ships in the Gulf. So location was everything,
right?
With this being the southernmost. So in fact, before the Civil War even began, the U.S. government already knew how important the fort would be. Picture this. It's midnight, January 13th, 1861.
Okay.
Captain John Milton Brannan makes a choice. He had no orders, but he knew that war was coming. So he moved his squadron of 44 men from the Key West barracks, and they took over Fort Zach.
Oh, wow.
So they were Union troops, and then they fortified it against Confederate control. During the Civil War, the fort became the headquarters for the Navy's East Gulf Coast Blockade Squadron.
Wow. Okay. It's a mouthful. Yeah.
It was a powerful deterrent against Confederate supply ships. So Fort Zach itself never saw battle, but historians credit it with shortening the Civil War itself.
Oh, that's interesting.
So they say without it, Confederate ships would have been able to resupply more easily and things like that. After the Civil War in 1889, the Army cut down the top 2 levels of the fort to modernize it with new weapons.
Oh.
So all that work, and then they're like, let's make this modern. So they put in 2 batteries just to clear up confusion here so we don't have another Private Winters thing.
Oh, okay. Yes.
In this case, batteries is a term for a coordinated group of cannons or guns.
I actually did know. I knew that one.
Oh, okay.
Being the United States Army veteran that I am.
Thank you for your service. I'm sorry, I forgot. I just wanted to make sure we didn't go into Private Winters territory.
Thank you.
So the fort was used again in the Spanish-American War of 1898. As time passed, newer technology like radar replaced the cannons, and the fort was no longer useful for the military. In 1947, the Army handed it over to the Navy. By 1968, there were volunteers working and excavating to see what else they could find out about the past.
Okay.
What they found was the largest collection of Civil War cannons anywhere in the U.S.
Wow.
In 1971, Fort Zach was placed on the National Register of Historic Places. By 1973, it was a National Historic Landmark. But all of that stuff can't quiet the ghosts.
Uh-oh.
So,
here we go.
Let's get weird. There have been countless reports over the years from soldiers, staff, and visitors who all claim to see the same thing. They see soldiers marching in formation, drilling silently. It's always after hours, during storms, when the fort is empty.
Okay.
So that's pretty spooky. Like, I'm picturing, those storms that come through that are, the wind is blowing and like the water is crashing. And so this is interesting. Their uniforms are different. There's some from the Union, like the Union blue from the Civil War. There's some that look like they're from World War I. All different kinds, but they always vanish.
Okay.
So maybe they're still protecting the fort. Maybe they never left. But there's something else that we need to know. There's another report I've seen something even more unsettling. And guess when this happens?
Tell me.
It's not in the dark. It's not when there's storms. It is at 12 o'clock noon.
Ooh.
So, noon
Yeah.
is like lunchtime. Maybe you
Yeah.
should be checking your phone, taking a nap.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Also, the heat of the day, too.
Oh, true. But in Fort Zach's darker days, noon was when people died.
Really?
Because noon was execution time.
Oh, gosh.
So if you were a deserter or a captured enemy, that's when they hanged you.
Oh.
So we all know what hanging involves: a short, sudden drop.
Right.
Today, visitors say that when they stand near the spot where the gallows were, they feel nauseous. And sometimes they feel like the temperature drops.
Oh, wow.
There's a chill. And when you move away, the temperature's fine. You feel better.
Do you know where that is located on the fort? Like, can you picture that?
I think it's in the outside area. We could go. There's tours at 11 a.m. every day.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, with a ranger, so we could go.
Oh, yeah.
So some people report that they even hear noises. They hear the creak of a hinge.
Oh, wow.
And so the hinge would be the door, dropping from the gallows.
Oh, it was a gallows? Or
yeah,
it was
gallows.
I thought it was hanging.
Well, yeah, but gallows are hanging.
Oh, I was thinking a guillotine. Wait a second. Hold on.
We're not in France.
I know. Okay, wait. But the gallows. Oh, okay.
Like, so standing,
like,
and then the trap, there's like a trap door.
Okay, yes. Okay, I got it. Okay.
So there's even reports that people at noon hear screaming.
Oh, gosh. That's terrifying.
I know. I can't imagine. It would be awful.
Yeah.
So this story comes from a woman named Abigail. So she was on a standard tour at Fort Zach with a ranger, and she hears, "Give me some water."
Ooh.
A raspy voice. She follows the sound to a brick room. Inside, she finds a man in a soldier's uniform. He's sunburned, he's dirty, he's unkempt. He's gripping the bars of the cell.
Wow.
And he seems desperate. So she turns to call for the tour group. And when she looks back, he's gone.
I would like to go back to what we've said before about when someone's summoning you in a creepy way. Why did these people follow? I guess that's why I never see anything. If I heard something, I'd be like, nope.
If you're somewhere you hear like,
give me some water,
I would totally go. I'd be like, at least peeking around over there, see what's going on.
I'd be like Scooby-Doo. Zoinks! I'm out of here.
Wow.
Yeah.
Where's your sense of adventure?
I don't know.
What if we go on the 11
scary.
o'clock tour and you hear this?
I don't know.
Really? You're just going to ignore it?
We're like, yikes.
I don't know. Okay. So Abigail is like, what the? Right? And she keeps thinking about it. She goes back the next day and she speaks to a park ranger named Randy. He didn't laugh at her story.
Ooh.
He's listening to everything and he's like, you know who that might be? Lieutenant McClure.
McClure.
Okay. Lieutenant McClure. He was charged with treason by the Union Army. He was kept in the cell, and he vowed in his journal, this is a quote, "I will avenge my imprisonment."
See, that's why you don't follow those voices. That's why.
So Ranger Randy tells Abigail, quote, "If they were asking for water, there's a good chance that they suffered from yellow fever." So Abigail continues on. She's, exploring around. She doesn't feel anything strange the rest of the day until she was leaving. So she's, getting ready to go down the little path, get on her bike. And she just on a whim takes her bottle of water and leaves it at the cell. She's walking away and she hears it. The same raspy voice that says, "Thanks, lady."
Ooh. Whoa.
No one was there.
Yikes.
Now that gives me a chill.
Yeah.
So I have another story for you about Fort Zach. And
Okay.
this is from our friend Natalie's grandfather,
Ooh.
David Sweeting. So David was born in Key West in 1942. And he is a third or fourth generation conch. And so we mentioned before that conchs are people who are born and raised here.
Right.
So
it's a very proud tradition for people who are born here to call themselves conchs.
Yes. So David, thanks so much for this little story. Here it is. He said that there were, he worked over at the fort.
Okay.
When things like weren't really going on. It was mostly closed. Mm-hmm. So he said that there were rooms that people wouldn't go into. And this is in the 70s. When he worked there, he'd go into rooms and the hair on his arms would just stand up. So you know that's like,
yeah,
that's a sign that something unsettling is happening. That's like your body's just natural response to something, right? So here's more. Back in the 70s, my buddy Luther and I were working in the warehouse. And I told Luther, give me a minute and I'll be there to give you a hand. Then I heard what sounded like Luther dragging pallets. And I said, hold on, I'll come over there with a forklift. And when I went over there with the forklift to move the stuff, Luther wasn't there. There weren't any pallets. In fact, I looked around and Luther had been inside the office the entire time.
Ooh.
It was building 795, which is adjacent to the main entrance to the fort. They call it the Sally Port. It used to block the entrance to the fort. Another time, I stayed after work in the winter months, and everyone else had gone home. Yet I heard plenty of noises all around. And I'll tell you the truth. I told them they can have the job. I wasn't coming back. See ya. David's like, no, thank you. Okay.
That is too funny. Oh my gosh.
So
these stories go way back.
Yeah.
That's really cool.
So, and thanks so much for those firsthand accounts and for sharing that. So if you're ever at Fort Zach, you know, maybe taking in the beach, wandering along the paths, or visiting the fort, maybe you'll see something out of the corner of your eye.
Yeah.
Maybe you'll hear something. Maybe you'll hear a whisper. Give me some water.
Oh my gosh.
So take a bottle of water with you just in case.
Okay. I don't know if I'm doing that.
I'm totally bringing a bottle of water when we go there.
You are? Okay. Yeah. Okay. It's worth a shot, worth a try.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Well, it is time for Somebody Told Me. This is the segment of our podcast where we share stories from our listeners. This story is from my mom.
Mama!
So, last week when I was on vacation, I was at the beach, a different beach. And my mom called and she said, hey, I have a story for Somebody Told Me. Ooh. Which, if you know my mom is like a complete straight shooter. She's not woo-woo. She is like not super chatty or forthcoming about a lot of things. And so sometimes she'll pop up with a wild story. And so this is one of those times. So it's really freaky. So you're about to get really scared. So
oh gosh.
ready.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay.
Wait, let me prepare
it's actually
myself.
Like this one is actually really scary. So she told it to me, but I asked her to actually think through all the details and email it to me. And this is what she sent. So it was the winter of 1970 to 71. I was in the first year of a 2-year apprenticeship learning to become a radiologic technologist, an X-ray tech. My roommate and I were busy shuffling various schedules, studying, and trying to remain sane when we got a visit for the weekend from 3 kids from our high school who were currently seniors. Ooh, so seniors are going to like party with the college kids.
Wait, what's your mom's name?
Diana.
Excuse me.
Yes. So my roommate and I rented one of the 7 apartments in a turn-of-the-century Victorian house on one of the oldest streets in town. The 5 of us thought we knew everything as we were all either 18 or 19 years old. We've all been there. We have all been there. A big snowstorm hit, so the other kids couldn't drive back to school for a day or two. We decided one dark night to try to have a seance.
What, Diana?
Mom.
Hey, what should we do? Oh, let's have a seance.
I think it was like in the 70s, though. I think that was like a cool, hip thing to do.
Oh, I mean, back in Victorian times, that's what they did. But
and also they were in a Victorian house, so kind of fits. So never having done anything of the sort, I was open to the idea of an adventure.
Oh.
We gathered around the ancient oak dining table and held hands, and one of the kids spoke some mumbo jumbo stuff, and we were off and running.
What did he say? I want to know.
I don't know. It was mumbo jumbo.
Mumbo jumbo.
One of the girls went into a trance, for lack of any other descriptive term.
Excuse me?
I'm telling you, this is a wild story. She released the hand of the kids on either side of her, and while her open hand was resting on the table, it started to jerk a little. There happened to be a pencil on the table, and it started to vibrate, so we placed it in the web of Susan's hand between her thumb and index finger. Mind you, she was not holding that pencil. It was just resting there. Shortly, it started moving on its own as though it was trying to write something.
Stop it.
We got several pieces of paper, and that dang pencil wrote letters on the paper. It wrote from left to right and then completely off the paper, so we kept supplying paper as the writing continued. Some of the letters were printed, some cursive, some tiny, and some large. She called me back later, and she wanted me to say that it felt like it was like when the writing changed, it was like different personas or something. Yeah.
Oh my gosh, that's so spooky.
Yeah.
I wish she kept those papers. I'd love to see them.
Oh my gosh. I was pretty freaked out, I'm telling you. Then in huge letters, it wrote very clearly, "Get out."
I can't.
I thought that was a good idea, and so did all the rest of us. So we somehow ended the session, except for Susan, who did not act like she was coming around. The rest
they just left Susan there.
Well,
Susan's
no. They couldn't get her to come out of her trance.
But like,
they didn't left her sit. The rest of us took turns sitting with her all night long,
okay.
hoping that she would come out of whatever state she was in. It wasn't until early the next morning before she returned to her normal self.
What?
I was never tempted to mess with the paranormal again.
Oh.
I asked my mom, I was like, did you ever check on Susan? That's not her real name, by the way. I wanted to let everybody know. It's that's not her real name. But she said she doesn't know like what she's up to now.
Oh my gosh.
Isn't that crazy?
That's so scary.
It's actually like scary. This isn't
No, that's like really scary.
This is like why you don't mess with that kind of stuff.
Well, also for seances there and contacting the dead, like, you know, that sort of thing, there are supposed to be
like rules
that you follow.
Yeah.
And so like I'm just so curious, one, what that kid said to start this whole thing.
Yeah.
And then two, you know, how she said they ended the session, but did they like actually? Because there's speculation that if you're working with like a Ouija board or you know, having a seance or things like that, and you don't actually close the portal, that things just come through.
Yeah.
I'm so scared.
And they keep coming through.
Yes.
Yeah, I don't know. This is why that's why I don't mess with that kind of stuff.
Oh my gosh.
It's so scary. So, but my mom seems okay.
Let's just, you can do a little sleuthing and see if you can follow up on Susan.
Yeah, I will. I'll see if I can find out.
Oh my gosh.
So very spooky. Thanks, Mom.
Wow.
Thanks, Mom.
Thanks, Mom.
Yeah, she was like, yeah, I don't mess with that stuff anymore after that.
You're like,
but you do dumb stuff. You know what? Like when you're a kid, you think you're invincible and you do dumb stuff and you learn lessons. And so I think that was one of those times, you know.
Life lesson. Don't hold seances.
Don't have a seance. in a spooky Victorian house.
Noted.
Got it. Thank you so much for listening to and downloading this episode of the You Two Scare Me podcast.
Listeners, you can help support us by telling everyone you know about our podcast. Just tell everyone. Yesterday, Felice and I were out and about in town, and we were literally telling everybody and giving them stickers. And we're like, hey, we have this podcast. You should listen.
Yeah. And everyone's really excited about it, I feel.
Yeah. Yeah, it's fun.
You can also help us by rating and reviewing us on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, iHeart, Amazon, and wherever you get your podcasts. It's most helpful to us when our listeners download the episodes.
Don't forget to check out our social media. Find us on Instagram at you2scareme_podcast or on our Facebook page, You2Scare Me. You can even follow us on TikTok. Just search You2Scare Me podcast. No spaces.
Ooh, spaces. Remember to send us your own spooky stories for our Somebody Told Me segment at you2scaremepodcast@gmail.com. That's YOUTWO scaremepodcast@gmail.com. Also, make sure to check out our website. We have cool merch and blog posts about each episode. You can find us at you2scaremepodcast.com.
Thanks for wandering through the shadows with us.
Until next time, stay curious and beware what lurks beyond the light.